Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading for you today on the topic of letting go. Some of you may want to take that as what you need to let go of, but it's just the general sort of topic of letting go, whether it's simply bringing your awareness to what it is that you need to let go of, or advice around how to actually let go, about releasing the things that you no longer need in your life, in your energy, or maybe it's just about surrendering to the universe and allowing it to, take control of your life, a little bit more flowing energy with that, surrender to the universe. Lots of fun. Letting go, let the universe take control. But make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that. It really does help the channel grow. So thank you all so much. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's a specific topic that you would like to see a reading done on. Of course, I'll take those on board. Timestamps in the description box as always. Today we're using the magic of letting go oracle cards, okay, as well as the Taurus lenormand. All right, starting off with Aries today, moving our way through. Okay, Aries, what does Aries need to know in regards to letting go? What does Aries need to know in regards to letting go? There's something Aries needs to let go of. What does Aries need to know about letting go, please? Realistic goals, Aries. Progress is often more sustainable than perfection. Reevaluate when needed. Okay, so this kind of lets us know that you're striving for goals that are, perfection. That there's this idea in your mind of something that it has to be absolutely perfect before it's acceptable, and you're not allowing space for those things to be achieved and then grow into what you desire them to be. All right, so it's what it's actually bringing up here, Aries, is the conversation of relationships and trauma and things like that, and the idea of, oh, you've got to love yourself before you can love anyone else and be in a relationship and all that sort of stuff. But a lot of healing actually comes while you're in a relationship. A lot of people forget that there are certain things that it's not up to anyone else to do your healing or anything along those lines, but there's a lot of things that flow a lot easier for you to actually understand when you are actually in that relationship. You can't heal relationship trauma without relationships. Okay, so it's one of those things that a lot of people don't sort of understand the complexity of that being alone, yeah, that's great. You can heal a lot of different traumas and you can heal a lot of yourself, but you can't heal certain things that involve others when you need to actually involve others in that healing. All right, you can't learn those lessons without having the others involved in that, in your life, basically. All right, but we'll clarify that for you. What does Aries need to know in regards to letting go? Letting go. So, what is it that you're looking at, Aries, that the goals that you're setting yourself, maybe you're putting the benchmarks just a little bit too high. You're looking for something to come into your life already perfect. What about, what are the goals below that you could actually be realistically achieving and then turning into perfection down the track? And sometimes, the things that actually look like may seem imperfect, they may actually be perfect for you, Aries. So setting those unrealistic goals, you may be actually trying to set goals for things that actually aren't perfect for you at all. They may appear perfect, but that doesn't mean that they are. Aries, what does Aries need to know in regard to letting go? Okay, this is going to be a little bit confronting, Aries, not going to lie. We do see the fox coming through first. So there is a little bit of a need to let go of your independence in some ways. So once again, like I was talking about with the relationship stuff, that, there's certain things that you can't heal by yourself, needing to have other people in your life in order to move towards healing in those areas. All right, that there's a little, yes, you've been doing that out of survival, but this is a little bit of, needing to let go of your player ways, needing to let go of selfishness, or needing to let go of manipulating situations to suit you rather than to suit everyone involved in the situation. All right. I hate to break it to you, Aries, but it's not the Aries show. Everyone in the world has their own version of that. Okay, that there's a lot of us in this world, and Aries, you're only a 12th of those people. So needing to remember that a little bit more, and be a little bit more empathetic towards others and their needs and their goals, rather than just your own. It's not okay, like it's okay to be selfish sometimes, but when it's impacting your own growth, sometimes you do need to let go of that selfishness and take others on board just as much. Okay, we do see the child coming through here, Aries. You do need to let go of a little bit of immaturity. Not going to lie. This is a little bit of like, oh, I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. Once again, especially with the fox there as well, definitely getting that player kind of energy, that wanting to play games kind of energy. It does come through strongly when those cards are together. So, it's just, I just want everything to be a game. I just want to have fun and do what I want to do kind of thing. Like a, no offense, immature child. Like I said, I knew this might be a little bit confronting for some people here, but this is how it's coming through, and this is all about the things that you need to let go of, and so you do need to let go of that in order to find maturity. If you're looking for maturity and in your life, you do need to let go of a little bit of the immaturity. Okay, the focusing on oneself, and that Aries, it's all about Aries. That's a very childlike way of thinking. All right, it is what it is, Aries. We do also see the fish coming through as well. Of course, if you're not happy with the reading, you're more than welcome to check other placements as well, of course, all right? Or maybe this reading's not for you. That is okay as well. If it's a little bit confronting. But, sometimes those things that do trigger us, it's because there's a little bit of meaning underneath them, and we're getting triggered by the truth. So take that on board, Aries. We do see the fish, like I said, materialism. All right, so setting more realistic goals for oneself, definitely coming through there with the materialism, and asking yourself about what fulfillment actually does mean to you. All right, because I feel like with this card coming through, this is materialism, money, saying that money matters, saying that money is the only thing that's important. Having the nice car, the nice house, all the whatever. Why is all that sort of stuff more important to you, Aries, than being a kind person, being someone with love in their life? All those sorts of things. There's a lot of things in this world that money cannot buy, and this is asking you to let go of your materialism a little bit there as well, Aries. Like I said, you're more than welcome to check your other placements. Okay, I have an Aries moon, Aries, so even if I am a little bit confronting with my messages, trust me, it hits me just as much. All right, I do watch a lot of these back in regards to my own signs, and kind of go, oh, I need to maybe take that on board myself as well. So like I said, it is what it is. We've got to let go and let the universe get its messages through sometimes, even when they're a little bit harsh. All right, but moving on to our Taurus. Okay, Taurus. What does Taurus need to know in regard to letting go? What does Taurus need to know about letting go, please? Overcommitted, Taurus. When do you have time to just sit there and do nothing, Taurus? Not very often, I would imagine. Saying no to some things shows you what truly matters. Strike a balance, all right? So you don't have to say yes to everything just to show that, you know, you can do everything, or that you're involved and active in everything. It's okay to say no sometimes. It's okay to say, actually, no, today I just want to sit at home and do nothing. I need a break. It is okay to say no. You don't have to always be the one that when people ask that you jump and do what they ask. You know, that does not need to be you here. You do need to, you know, let go of committing yourself to everything and everyone, all right, and committing yourself to saying yes all the time. You're not, you know, what's that Jim Carrey movie, The Yes Man? Have you seen that movie? It does it, like, it shows that saying yes all the time is not always the right choice, okay? Taurus, what does Taurus need to know in regard to letting go? We see the Clover coming through first for you here, Taurus. So for some of you, take it easy on the gambling, all right, if that's an issue for you. It may not even be just gambling as such, even though this is kind of the card of gambling, taking chances, taking risks. That may be risks in other areas that you're taking. You may be sort of jumping into things head first without actually considering, you know, what that means for you. Once again, saying yes to everything, even when you're not really thinking it out. You're saying, yes, I'll jump in that pool, without actually stopping and checking, is that the deep end or is that the shallow end I'm about to jump on into? You don't know what you're committing yourself to sometimes, Taurus. So once again, yeah, just be a little bit more thoughtful with the risks that you're taking, all right? We do see the heart coming through. So there is the need for you to let go of, I just, you know, it's a very sweet kind of energy coming through here, Taurus. And I know it's part of who you are. And I hate to be saying let go of, you know, the love everyone, love everything, give everyone the best, you know, the benefit of the doubt. But that you kind of need to harden up a little bit, Taurus. You know, I did not realize when I started doing this reading how harsh these messages were going to be, but some of them are a little bit confronting and harsh. And you do need to harden up a little bit with your heart, not let everyone, you know, you move with love first, Taurus, and you don't actually consider your own self as much. You're putting other people ahead of your own self. You're kind of being like, I just want to, you know, show my love, and, you know, I just want everyone to be happy, and you know, I want to be a loving person. But you need to do that for yourself first, Taurus. You're overcommitting your heart space to others. Where is the space in your heart for yourself? All right. So you need to let go of showing everyone so much love all the time. You do need to hold some of that back for yourself. And once again, it's back to that saying no sometimes, that you need to strike a balance and not just, you know, give so much of yourself to everybody, and that's why it hurts so much when people break that trust, Taurus, because you've given so much of your heart to these people, and then, you know, so when they betray that trust, or whatever, of course it's going to hurt, because you've given them that heart to break. All right, so we do also see the scythe coming through as well. So once again, that's that impulsiveness again, Taurus. So, you know, we do see a lot of impulsiveness that you are needing to let go of at the moment. You're really needing to think things through a little bit more before you actually do make a decision. So we're not saying yes or no straight away. We're actually stopping and thinking about things a little bit more. We're not making sudden choices without really thinking them through. You know, you do need to let go of that, because you're allowing yourself to get hurt too much through this. All right, so you really need to, it's kind of, you know, that is the card of cut it out. All right, and it's asking you to, you know, let go of that impulsiveness, the sudden, you know, the very sudden impulsive decisions that you make, and sudden changes that you make in your life. All right, so you may need to really think about saying no a little bit more, or at least thinking things through about whether you truly have that much of yourself to give to every single person that asks. Okay, that are you overcommitting to everyone and everything? All right, Taurus. But that's what we see for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Definitely subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini. What does Gemini need to know in regards to letting go? On the topic of letting go, what does Gemini need to know, please? Releasing grudges. Okay, Gemini. Free yourself from the past and open to healing. Lighten your load. All right, you're carrying so much of what's happened and who said this and who did that. You're carrying all these things as burdens, and there's a big load that you're carrying on your shoulders from the past. All right, so you do need to release the grudges and the the anxieties and the shame and the guilt and the especially grudges, though. You do need, once again, forgiveness is not something that we do for others. We do, we offer forgiveness for ourselves more than anyone. All right, so there's something coming through there about the grudges that you hold, carrying them like a burden, allowing yourself to heal from the past. Gemini, what does Gemini need to know in regards to letting go? And I do pick up a couple of you. It's grudges from like a long time ago as well. And do you know why we're holding on to these things? It's because it meant something to us. We see here the ring, the heart, and the moon. All right, so for a lot of you, there's a grudge you have against, past love relationships or past relationships where you have offered a lot of, of your love, whether that's platonic love or otherwise. You have offered a piece of your heart to people in the past here. You've offered, your emotional sensitivities. It's kind of like, look, here's my heart on a platter. And then when they break that trust and they break that love, it leaves you feeling hurt and broken. But what we see with the ring here as well is this has become a pattern for you. All right, that this is actually a pattern that you now have, a pattern of holding on, that you actually need to break that cycle. All right, because you're still holding on to those relationships, even though those people no longer mean anything to you, you're still holding on to those grudges. And it's like, if you truly don't care about those people anymore, why hold on to that grudge? Holding on to hate and like the unforgiving energy, that's still holding on to that person. That's still giving that person power over you right here, right now, and in the future. That's still giving your energy to them. That's still having emotion towards them. Negative emotions are just as strong as positive emotions. Why are you still allowing them to have that power over you, Gemini? You're needing to let go of the heartache and the pain. And, that you need to break that cycle of allowing those past hurts to continue to hurt you every day and moving forward. And every time you think about that person, you're still holding on to a lot of resentment, and you're still holding on to that person and that energy because of that. Okay, so that's hurting you. It's not hurting them, it's hurting you. So the more that you can release that grudge and forgive those past hurts, and realize that I don't actually care about that person, thinking negative things about that person, still having a grudge against that person, that's telling the universe that I still think about that person. I still care about that person. I still give emotion to that person, still give my energy to that person. So something to think about, Gemini. That's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, And we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay. Cancer. What does Cancer need to know in regards to letting go? Ooh. Pick your path, Cancer. Live authentically and be fulfilled on your own terms. Be true to yourself. So this is about letting go of letting other people make your choices for you. You know, the pathway always talks about choices, decisions. You're kind of letting other people make decisions for you. You're letting other people choose which direction your life is going in. So this is about taking back control of your choices and your decisions, and you know, choosing to do what you want to do with your life, not because it's what everyone else thinks you should do with your life, but it's because what you truly want to do. All right, not because it's the, you know, the socially acceptable path, or this is the path that I should follow, the traditional path or whatever. No, do what truly sets your heart on fire. Okay, Cancer? This is about doing what deep down in your own heart you want to do, not what everyone tells you should do or what you think is the right thing to do, what you truly desire. Pick that path, find a way to follow it. All right, let's have a look with the lenormand. Cancer. What does Cancer need to know in regards to letting go? What does Cancer need to know in regards to letting go, please? Too many people. Look at this. We have the masculine and the feminine coming through for you, Cancer. Why are you letting other people make your decisions for you? We also see the flowers here as well. All right, so you're giving other people too much control over your life. There's too many people here. When we're looking at a reading about what do we need to let go of, there's more than just you showing up in this reading. There's other people showing up here. You're giving too much to other people's opinions, and other people, you know, the paths that might be right for other people does not mean that they're the right path for you. All right, so because the example that I'm being given here, Cancer, is like when I was a small child, I was kind of told, or raised to believe that my life should be, I find a husband, I give my life to raising children and being a good wife, a good mother, and that's about it, right? Having a nice house, having a nice car, having a nice husband. And, I was not raised to believe about, having a job or anything like that. I was raised in a more traditional way. It's not necessarily so much my family, but it was more so I was raised in a small town, all right, where they were about 10 years behind in their ways of thinking. We used to have like running jokes that my small town, at the local movie theater, we would get the movies once they came out on video. They would come to the local movie theater rather than when they were like new releases or whatever. So I'm talking about a while ago, okay, guys. I'm not going to explain exactly how old I am, but that was a while ago, and I was raised in a small town where the ways of thinking were a little bit more backwards than what the ways of thinking would be nowadays. Okay, a very more traditional thing, and I'm kind of seeing that same sort of energy here for you, Cancer. That this is like that traditional belief that it should be the woman and the man, for example, and so there's like, because it is giving me something here about those families that were raised to believe that it has to be a man and a woman, and it can't, same as like what I was saying, that my the country town that I grew up in, it was very much like women have to marry men. There was no such thing as women marrying women. That wasn't something I realized was possible until I was a bit older, when I hit teenage years and all that fun stuff. But you're kind of really giving to this sense of tradition that isn't you. all right? It's not you. It's not your beliefs. It's not your traditions. It's not your soul. It's what, you know, society has placed upon you, or religion has placed upon you, or your family has placed upon you, or something along those lines. You know, there's some sort of tradition that is sort of being forced on you, kind of thing. It's that whole thing of like, you know, and look, we all are impacted by the ways that we were raised and whatnot. And it does affect us in different ways and things like that. But you've really struggled, Cancer, breaking free from those traditions and from those, you know, societal beliefs of what your life should look like, or how you should live your life. And that doesn't suit you at all right? And you've been giving too much of your time, your love, your energy, trying to fit into this box when you're a circle, all right? You're never going to fit into a square if you're a circle. It's not going to work for you, and you're going to end up unhappy if you keep doing that. You know, this is about living your life on your terms and being true to yourself. You know, finding your circle to go live in, and don't worry about living in a box. If you're a circle, go find a nice circle to live in. You know, that find your own circle, make a circle to live in. You don't have to, you know, for a lot of you, this is going to be, you know, your parents, okay, coming through here, telling you this is how you're supposed to live your life. And you've just been trying to do the right thing and trying to give to those, and, you know, oh, but they gave me so much. You didn't ask for them to give you a life, you know. None of us asked to be born, kind of thing. We are all given this life, and we get to choose what we do with it. It's not up to anyone else what we do with our life. It's ours, all right? And no one else can live in your shoes, Cancer. That's your job, all right? So be true to yourself, and don't stop trying to let other people walk around in your shoes and live your life for you, all right? So getting a lot of confronting messages today, guys. I do apologize for the confrontingness of the messages today, but make sure you do subscribe to the channel. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, and we will move over to Leo. Okay, Leo, what does Leo need to know in regard to letting go? What does Leo need to know on the topic of letting go? Release your grudges. Okay, Leo. Gemini had this same card. I believe it was, yeah, Gemini had this same card. Free yourself from the past and open to healing. Lighten your load. Why are you carrying everyone else's baggage, Leo? Especially stuff from the past. This is like, but they did this to me. They said that to me. But why does it still matter? If you've already let go of that, why does it still matter? The thing I was saying to Gemini is, the more that you're holding on to those past hurts and things like that, the more you're still giving power to those things. Okay, hatred is just as strong as emotion as love. So the more that you're sitting there holding a grudge against someone or against a past event or thing, the more that you're still giving power to that, the more that you're bringing the past into your present and still allowing that to be in your energy today. All right, Leo, if you do have strong Gemini placements, you may want to watch that particular placement as well. Leo, what does Leo need to know about letting go? For some of you, it may even be a Gemini you're holding this grudge against, and you both need to let go of it. And for some of you too, it may be related to your mother, all right? Just putting that out there. We do have the Lily coming through first. So for a lot of you, this is something from a long time ago. That is the long-term card. This is something you've been holding on to for a long time, all right? And it's something that it makes you feel thinking of letting go of the hatred, of the, you know, the grudge that you have against this person or thing or event. It makes you feel like vulnerable, because you've lived with this for so long that you don't know what to replace that with or how to live without holding on to that. So it makes you feel very vulnerable to think about letting go of this. Because for a lot of you, it's something that hurts you very close to your heart. It's like, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's love or anything like romantic love anyway. It feels like this is, I do have the feminine coming out as the third card here. So I do feel that for some of you, this is a mother or a grandmother or, some sort of female family member of importance, all right, a female involved in your childhood, raising you, that has hurt you, okay, big time. So it does feel very close to your heart in that sense that it's, it's affected you, and it's a very open wound. There's a raw vulnerability attached to this, and that's why it's like if I let go of that anger, then what? Then there's this raw gaping wound. Then what do I do? All right, that's when you start to heal, though. You can't heal without, it's because I'm getting this image of like when you get a graze and you graze yourself, you get a gravel rash, all right, and you graze yourself and there's all gravel in there, but it won't heal properly if you leave all the gravel in there. So holding on to this grudge is all the gravel, all right. You need to remove all the bits of dirt and gravel out of your graze so that it can heal cleanly and smooth and become smooth skin rather than bumpy bits of gravel under the skin. We do see the book coming through here as well. So there may be a little bit of some sort of research that you may need to do. It may need to be like, I feel like for a lot of you, Leo, it's going to help you to actually do a little bit of research on why that person did that thing. Like the what's the phrasing of that? The like researching human behavior kind of thing. Taking yourself and that person out of context completely and not saying, why did they do that to me? But saying, I want to know, why would someone do that just in general, and learning a little bit more about, what leads to that sort of behavior and things like that. Because I do feel like for a couple of you here, there's a, it's like a ancestral trauma kind of thing. And it's like if you don't understand what's behind that behavior, you don't realize that you may accidentally pass that on to your children through the way that you treat them. So there's something coming through about that, all right? So that it's like you may be trying to be a completely different parent, completely different version of a person towards your children, but you may accidentally do the same thing because you're not actually understanding that the behaviors, like the psychology behind it all. So I feel like for some of you, if you research the psychology behind what's happened, it may actually help you understand it in a different kind of way and help you, remove yourself from the situation a little bit, and in order to be able to release that grudge and release that hatred, and because that's only hurting you. It's not hating that person is not hurting them. It's hurting you, okay, Leo, and it could potentially hurt the next chapters of your life if you keep allowing it to be a part of your present as well. All right, so open up to healing, lighten the load, and release that, move so that you can move forward. Okay, Leo, so that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo, what is Virgo needing to know in regards to letting go? What does Virgo need to know in regards to letting go? Letting go, Virgo. I don't know why that rhymed in my head. Realistic goals, Virgo. Okay, so we did have this same card for Aries, I believe. So if you have strong Aries placement, you may want to check this section as well. Progress is often more sustainable than perfection. Reevaluate when needed. All right, now we all know our Virgos love a good bit of perfection, right? But sometimes that's not realistic, and it's not even that it's not realistic. It's just that it's not realistic for your happiness, Virgo. Okay, because sometimes perfection is found in the imperfections, yeah, and you're not allowing space for that. You're not allowing space for, you know, okay, if I'm setting my goals as it has to be top tier, this perfection, you're not allowing yourself to reach the goal and then grow with it to the perfection. Does that kind of make sense? You can actually make more progress if you just start taking steps towards those things and not saying it has to be absolutely perfect. Okay, because it's the example that's actually coming up for you, Virgo. It's a little bit different. The example I'm being given is cars. All right, so I'm not a car person, so it's a weird example for me to be getting. But the example I'm being given here is, if your goal, for example, is my whole life, the car I want is a blue Lamborghini. All right. If that's the goal, does that mean that you're not going to drive any other car ever before you get that Lamborghini? Because that's what you're telling yourself right now, is that I have to get the Lamborghini, the blue Lamborghini. I have to get the blue Lamborghini, and nothing else is good enough. So I'm not going to drive any other car. And then do you know what? What happens if you get that blue Lamborghini? You can't drive it. You don't know how to drive because you've never allowed yourself to drive another car. So you get that Lamborghini and you're like, wow, now I need to learn how to drive. I don't know how to drive. And honestly, would you do driving lessons in a Lamborghini? That would be ridiculous, right? To go and do your first driving lessons in a Lamborghini, that's pretty ridiculous because, we all know what it's like when we first start driving. You hit the gutter, you're learning, you hit gutters, you don't know when to brake, you drive around like a little grandma, you take corners too fast, and next thing you know, your blue Lamborghini's got a big scratch down the side, and you're like, now it's not perfect anymore. Now I need another Lamborghini. And then where are you going to get the money for that, Virgo? Okay, so sometimes, perfection is an unrealistic goal, because maybe you should learn to drive in a Honda Civic, and it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of a scratch, a bit of tire rash from the gutter, gutter rash, or whatever. You scrape it in the parking complex. Doesn't matter as much because it's just a cheaper car that is not the life dream car. All right, and you're not ruining the Lamborghini. Okay, so I don't know why I'm getting that example for you, because personally I love a good Honda Civic. I've had 2 Honda Civics and great cars, guys. I loved my Honda Civic. I still drive a Honda too. My current car is a Honda and I adore it. Not gonna lie, I'm a big fan of Hondas. I'm not a car person, but I like my Hondas now. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know in regards to letting go? We have the scythe coming through. Okay, so we need to cut it out a little bit, Virgo. Let go a little bit. Once again, we saw that the realistic goals, needing to let go of the idea of perfection being the only obtainable thing. All right, we need to be a little bit more realistic with our goals. This also does refer to spontaneous impulsivity. All right, this is making very sudden, rash decisions. So you're needing to let go of, making rash decisions or impulsive kind of decisions. And especially when it comes to cutting people out of your life, Virgo, you actually need to make sure you're thinking things through a little bit more. And that's coming back through with the realistic goals thing, that you're kind of like, someone's not acting 100% perfectly exactly how I think they should act, so I'm just going to cut them out of my life altogether. Where's the growth potential there in the relationship? Where's the lessons that, no one's perfect, Virgo. So why are you treating everyone like they have to be to stay in your life? We do see the tree coming through here as well. That's actually your card, Virgo. So, but it does talk about healing and growth and taking care of yourself. I am kind of getting this as like, it is coming through in a little bit of the sense of taking too much care of yourself, putting your own needs first and your own healing first. Once again, you're cutting out people where they're not healed. But at what point does that become an imperfection of yours, Virgo? If you're not allowing others room to grow and heal and take care of them as well as yourself. You need to maybe take care of your things and your people just a little bit more, all right? Instead of just cutting them out of your life altogether. So it's kind of coming through as like that, that my coffee maker, it got a scratch on it, so I'm just going to throw it out. Take better care of your things, Virgo. Get better care of your people, and you might actually be able to heal them and grow them and help them, not just yourself. All right? So that's kind of how that's coming through. I'm getting very confronting messages today. I might have to put a confronting warning on this video, to be honest. I do have the mice coming through here as well. So, Virgo, this is one very specific thing, and you know exactly what I'm going to say when I say it, right? You need to let go of the past. You need to let go of that past loss. You lost that person. A big part of you was probably cut that out of yourself. You probably cut them out of your life, or it's not that you cut them out of your life, it's that it's kind of that, you pushed things so far that it was irreparable. Does that make sense? Like, they maybe cut you out of their life, but then you're like, you're going to lose me. Well, I'll make it so that you never come back, kind of thing. You pushed it just that little bit further, Virgo. So there is a little bit of, I'm getting a little bit of personal responsibility for that coming through here as well, that that you maybe lost someone from your life, because that does talk about past loss. All right, and I'm picking up that for a lot of you, this has got to do with people that have been cut out of your life. All right, so it could be like an ex-partner, an ex-family friend, an an old co-worker that you feel as though you lost that person from your life. At what point did they walk away, and then at what point did you push them even further away? Make it so that they wouldn't want to come back. So something coming through about that, Virgo. So I'll leave that with you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Okay, Libra, what does Libra need to know in regards to letting go? Letting go, Libra. Have patience, Libra. Rewards are sweeter when earned through persistence. Good things take time. All right. So there's also something coming through about good things come as small rewards. I know the phrase is normally good things come in small packages, but it's good things come as small rewards. All right. So it's something about small little things, and then eventually they all add up to become something great, but you need to have patience before they build up to that point. You can see in this card, she's holding an egg. Yeah, that it's like you can't count that chicken before it hatches. You have to be patient and allow it to, allow its natural time to take place before you discover what sort of chicken you have. Okay, so it's like it takes a bit of time to build up to the thing, the grand reward for you here. But there's like a lot of little things that all build up and become something great. Is what's coming through. It's how it's coming through here. Let's have a look. Libra. What does Libra need to know in regards to letting go? So there's something about you can't control time. We have the moon coming through first. All right. So it's like your intuition already knows that the big reward is coming, and that's why you're so impatient for it, Libra. So you need to let go a little bit of your emotional investment and your emotional sensitivity to, oh, I want it now kind of thing. It's making you emotional in some kind of a way. You need to release the emotions surrounding this a little bit, because that will help you understand the time frame that this is going to take. It's not going to sort of happen overnight. That your emotions are kind of clouding the time frame for you a little bit here. So it's not really elaborating on that, but that's what's coming through for you. We also have the garden coming through here, Libra. So there is something here about letting go of needing to be out and about and spending time with people all the time. This is the card of meetings, all right? So this is letting go of the need to meet everybody halfway all the time, needing to compromise all the time. Sometimes it's okay to just say, no, I don't compromise. I'm not going to compromise on that. This is my values, my morals. I'm not going to compromise. So I feel like there's the need to let go of, the social constructs around yourself, the need to please everyone, the people pleasing coming through there a little bit. For some of you, it's got something to do about with being out in public all the time. There's something about needing to let go of what your public image is. Your having to go out and be out in public all the time. That it's okay to just be at home sometimes here, Libra. We also have the scythe coming through for you. Okay, so that does come through a little bit as, especially with the moon coming through there as well, and the patience factor, that this is impulsive behavior kind of thing. Quite a lot of the time, it is the card of sudden change, things changing very sudden out of nowhere, and that's you that's needing to change that. All right, you're needing to change the way that you impulsively make decisions, or the impulsive way that you break away from things and cut things out of your life, that you maybe need to actually have a little bit more patience with the situation before you break away from it completely. Sometimes these things take time, and they can be resolved. So sometimes there's no need to actually, cut that out of your life completely, that sometimes it can actually be resolved and, kept in your life and grown into something else. You need to stop impulsively, just like making changes so quickly. You need to actually allow things time to change on their own, rather than forcing the change. Does that make sense? Especially when it comes to social stuff. Something about social, cutting out social energy. So it maybe may have to do with, like, for some of you, I'm getting that there may be something about cancelling plans. You're very impulsively cancelling plans. You need to actually, like, have patience with people or something along those lines in regard to that. But that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Scorpios. Okay, Scorpio, what is going on for our Scorpios? What does Scorpio need to know in regards to letting go? Scorpio, what do you need to know in regards to letting go, please? Realistic goals, Scorpio. So you're definitely not the first one that has had this card. Aries had this card, as well as I believe it was Virgo had this card as well. So if you do have strong placements in one of those, you may want to check those placements as well. Progress is often more sustainable than perfection. Reevaluate when needed. All right. So this is about like the goals that you're setting. You're setting yourself that when this thing comes into my life, it has to look exactly like this, be exactly like this. Nothing else will do. All right, but that's an unrealistic goal here. That's perfection. You're seeking, when this thing comes into my life, it has to be already perfect. But you're not allowing space for, what happens when something comes into your life and it's not perfect and you throwing it away. Whereas it could have been perfect. It may have just needed some time or needed to grow in your life a little bit more to become that perfection. All right, so there's something about you kind of, going, oh, that's not good enough, that's not good enough, that's not good enough, but not actually giving any of those things chances to be good enough in your life. All right, it's like I have to be like this, XYZ, and nothing else is good enough. And so you're beating up on yourself as every time that you're not meeting that goal, whereas instead of taking steps towards that goal. Okay, progress is, a path. It's not a leap. Perfection is steps taking towards your ideal things, not jump from here to there. All right, so there's something about that coming through here. You can check out Aries or Virgo placements if you have those as well, because, I have worded it. It's come through slightly differently with the examples being given for each of those signs. Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know in regards to letting go? And as we all know, Scorpio, life's not perfect. As soon as you think something's perfect, that's a flaw in itself, right? Because there's no such thing. Firstly, we have the clouds coming through. So you're really in an overthinking energy, and you need to cut that out. You need to let go of, the negative thinking. Okay, Scorpio, there's a lot of negative thinking going on here, and that's what's actually propelling your anxiety, propelling your confusion, and not allowing you to have that clarity, because you're only seeing the worst case scenarios. You're not actually, allowing yourself to see the positive scenarios as well. And you're very, very muchly, this is very, very muchly coming through as a way, like the way that you're thinking about yourself is very, very negative. All right, and you need to get it in a little bit more control of those thoughts and let go of those negative thoughts a little bit more, because they're clouding your judgment, and it's actually increasing your anxieties and things like that. So you need to allow the clouds to part and let that sun shine through just a little bit. All right. We do have the child coming through as well, which like I've said a few times already throughout this reading, I am sorry that this is so confronting. I am going to make sure I do put a bit of a trigger warning on the title or something along those lines. But because this child is coming through today as immaturity, all right, that you need to let go of a lot of immaturity. There's some ways that you're behaving where you're, it's the child card for a reason, guys. Behaving like a child, behaving like, I just want to have fun and be free and do my own thing and not worry about anyone else. That, children, they don't have that emotional regulation of their thoughts, and they don't have that limit that tells them, oh, I need to consider what other people want to do. Like, I want to win the game. I don't want anyone else to win. I want to win. But if you're always winning, no one else ever gets an opportunity to win. So do you really want to push everyone else around you down in order for you to be the only one that wins? All right. And especially too with the way that we're thinking, because this is kind of a little bit of childishness, like childish thoughts, immature ways of thinking, where it is a little bit of selfishness. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of thinking, it's kind of that, I'm getting like, children having a tantrum going, but I want it and I want it now. I'm kind of seeing that, what is it, out of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the little spoiled kid in that movie. I want it and I want it now. So, think about whereabouts in your life you're behaving in that manner, and kind of stomping your feet and going, it's not good enough. I want it now. And it's got to be perfect. I want the perfect thing. Why don't I get perfect? Whereas letting go of that need and that selfishness and that immaturity, you will actually realize you can start taking steps towards those things all by yourself. It's not something that's going to be dropped off on your doorstep, although it actually might be for some of you. Not going to lie, I'm picking that up, that for some of you, you may not actually have to do that much, but as soon as you actually start taking steps, measured steps, rather than thinking that you can just leap to the finished product, the perfection. Once you start taking steps towards that, bang, here it comes. Anyway, I feel for a lot of you, we do have the cross coming through there as well. So there is a little bit of, burdens on your shoulders. I think it's got to do a lot with the way that you're thinking, the way that you think about things, and the way that you carry responsibility for the past on your own shoulders here. It's once again, it's that self-punishment kind of energy coming up a little bit there. But it's also about, letting go of needing to, take responsibility and take control of everything, and have everything exactly perfect. That this is about having a little bit more faith and just trusting that surrendering to the universe a little bit more, and just trusting that, the universe will provide for you one way or another. All right. It may take a little bit of time, and you may need to reevaluate that multiple times along the way. But, this is about knowing that there's this destined path for you to walk, and it's a path. It's not it's not an airplane where you get on here where you are right now, and then tomorrow you land in a brand new country and everything's perfect. It's not like that at all. All right, this is taking steps. All right, and looking at things in a little bit more of a mature way, where we're talking to ourselves in our thoughts in a much more positive way. We're thinking more positively about our spirituality as well. For some of you, coming through the way that you have faith, not just towards the universe, but towards yourself. All right, that I have faith that I can get there, and that I can walk the steps necessary to get there. It's not something that I'm just going to take a leap and I will be there. Everything's going to be perfect. That I understand that that's not how the world works, unfortunately. It would be really nice sometimes, but if everyone got perfection, there would be no level of, there'd be no variety in life, and everything would be really boring, and perfect would be overrated and boring, right? So perfect is not as perfect as it might seem, all right? Especially for you, because I feel like if you got the thing that you're seeing as absolutely ideal and perfect, if it landed on your lap tomorrow, you still wouldn't trust it. So it's not perfect. If you can't trust it, it's not perfect. That's a flaw right there, right? Perfect is not perfect. Even when you think it's perfect, it shows up and all of a sudden you're like, that's too perfect. I don't know. It's not perfect enough because it's too perfect. It's not perfect enough. So there's just something about that coming through there as well. But that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Definitely subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Sagittarius. Okay. Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know in regard to letting go? On the topic of letting go for our Sagittarius. Validation. surprised I haven't seen this for more signs, to be honest. Self-worth comes from within, not from others. Give yourself approval. So needing to let go of the need for validation from others a little bit here, Sagittarius. Why do we care what they think? Is it their life? Is it them that you're you know, what are you trying to achieve by seeking validation from others? Let's have a look here. It doesn't actually make you feel better. Makes you feel more like them, more like the rest of the sheep, right? You're not the sheep at all, Sagittarius. You're Sagittarius. You're your own unique, beautiful thing. Sagittarius, what does Sagittarius need to know in regards to letting go? We have the tree coming through first. I'm just trying to get a straight read on that for you, because the tree does talk about self-healing and growth, taking care of oneself. But it does also talk about wisdom and family are strong themes with the tree as well. All right, because it's like a family tree. All right, and maturity and wisdom, like you know, a tree, a full-grown tree like this is, 40, 50, 60 years old, 100, 200 years old. So it's got the wisdom of time behind it. It's more to do with maturity and family. So for a lot of you, the validation is linked up with the family, the ancestral tree, that I've got to make my family proud. I've got to live up to my family name. I've got to, seek approval from my ancestors or my parents or my family. And also a little bit of letting go of your maturity as well. That the you don't always have to be so stoic and mature is kind of coming through here as well. That it's okay to be wild and free sometimes, because it's being true to yourself. Okay. We do also see the sun coming through here. Which is a very interesting card to see, because ultimately that is the card of happy. Like your cards are coming through just a little bit sideways today, to be honest, because that is the card of happiness, yeah? But it's also about things needing to be revealed, things coming to light. Sometimes it's like secrets being revealed. So I feel like for some of you, there's especially with the tree there as well, there's some personal epiphanies, right? That you've had these personal epiphanies, but you've not really brought them out into the light to look at. So they're still there deep, like they're not deep down anymore. You do know that they're there and but you haven't actually pulled them out to examine them. You haven't actually, yeah, I know that that's a thing, but whatever, is kind of something I feel like a lot of you say that, oh yeah, I know I need to work on that, and then move. You're trying to avoid it a little bit, kind of like move straight past it, like, because you're needing to let go of the need to be surrounded by happiness and positivity a little bit more. So is what I think this is about. It's like you're like, but if I bring that out into the open and let people know that I'm upset about that or whatever, they're not going to be happy with me, or it's going to start a fight, and oh, I can't deal with that. So I feel like for a lot of you, it's like you're needing to let go of the need to only have happiness around your relationships and yourself. That you're needing to understand that there's a balance in this world. Unfortunately, life can't be happy all the time. That conflict serves its purpose. unhappiness serves its purpose. Yeah, sometimes people aren't going to be happy with you, but do you know what? A lot of the time, that's where we learn the most. And when conflicts happen, the resolution of conflict makes us learn even more than what just pushing it under the rug is going to teach us. We do also see the anchor coming through. So once again, you're needing to let go of the anchor and let yourself just sort of go with the flow a little bit more. That it's steady and it's reliable. I feel like, once again, for a lot of you, this has got to do with family. All right. Because this is like, I'm their anchor. If I let go and I'm not putting on that happy face, if I let go of that anchor and I'm not being solid and supportive for everyone, then what happens? It starts this big storm and everything goes haywire. You need to let go of that need to control things a little bit here in that sense, because you can't always be everybody else's anchor, because who's being your anchor? You know, sometimes things do need to get swept away a little bit and swept, thrown around in the storm a little bit. Sometimes people, I feel like for a lot of you, this is something about, there is something here about understanding that you can't help everyone, and sometimes people need to learn their own lessons as well. That if you're holding them still, yes, you're holding them safe and steady, but they're not learning how to weather the storm by themselves. And what happens when you're not there to hold them steady and safe, and then they're cast adrift in a storm? That they don't know how to cope. They don't know how to deal with it. It's actually worse. All right, because then they get lost at sea. Whereas if you're, releasing that anchor and allowing them to, learn their lessons themselves, they can still rely on you. They can still come to you and ask for help and advice, but you're not doing it for them. Yeah. Because right now you're just trying to, meet everyone else's needs and make everyone else happy. Everything's happy, great, happy. Nothing's wrong. But that's going to actually make the storm much worse when it hits. All right, so you need to sort of let go of that a little bit. Okay, Sagittarius. So that's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know in regard to letting go? Capricorn, what do you need to know in regard to letting go? Oh, toxic ties, Capricorn. Calling myself out here, yeah? Detach from relationships that drain your energy. Prioritize self-care. Pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it, Capricorn? You know that person's no good for you. You need to detach from relationships that drain your energy. I feel like, Capricorn, keep your energy for you for a while. You're exhausted. Okay? You're wondering why your energy's always depleted and why you're always feeling exhausted and like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Because you are. And you're allowing too many toxic people to drain you. Okay? I am picking up that for some of you, this is like one person specifically, and that you don't actually realize. Or you may realize, but you don't realize that that's what's draining you so much. It's kind of like that, have you ever heard the phrase of the energy vampire? You may have someone around you like that, or a toxic relationship of some sort. For some of you, it may be a family. I'm getting a family tie for some of you here. Capricorn. And, I want to say, for those of you where it is a family tie, I know that there's always a lot of people that say, oh, you can't, it's my family. Do you know what? You can, and your life is a lot happier. Not going to lie. If you know that person is toxic and I'll tell you, Capricorn, I have not spoken to my mother for about 16 years now. And that was a choice I made because I realized that every time I was spending time with this person, I was leaving in a worse state mentally and emotionally than what I was when I arrived. So I chose my own happiness. I chose my own peace over that person. So it's possible. And do you know what? I don't think I've ever regretted that decision. It is what it is, right? But at some point, you've got to choose you and you've got to prioritize yourself. Capricorn. Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know in regards to letting go? What does Capricorn need to know in regards to letting go? And I'm a Capricorn as well, guys. And straight away, I know exactly who this is talking about in my life. And I totally agree with the message. Not going to lie. For some of you, this is your mother, though, right? It is. That's why that example came up from my own personal life, is because for some of you, this is your mother or a sister or a strong female figure in your life, yeah? We also have the garden coming through here. Okay, so with the garden, there's something about, so for a lot of you, it may be somebody that, like, socially that you're meeting up with, spending too much time meeting up with this person or something along those lines. It may not be, it doesn't have to be your mother. It may not even be a female. It's just somebody in a very strong female energy. They're very emotional, all right? They drain your emotions. It's like every time you're with this person, it's like, oh, poor me, why me, sad me, oh, worry about me, give me all your emotions, feel bad for me, Capricorn. Is what I'm picking up from this person's energy, all right? We do see the garden there. So for some of you, this is someone that you definitely spend too much time meeting up with this person and compromising with this person as well. You compromise, but they kind of don't, all right? And you're compromising yourself at this point. For a lot of you, that there might be some issues around allowing dating to drain your energy. For some of you, allowing, like meetings. It's like meetings. It's like public networking for some of you. Because for some of you, it's like work stuff as well. Like allowing, giving too much time, meeting up with people and giving other people too much time, and it's kind of draining you in that sort of sense because you're kind of, oh, but I need, networking. Oh, I've been invited to all these events and you don't have to go to them all, Capricorn. Even if it's just all these events of going out for coffee or, you're overcommitting, I think, to a lot of things here too. Taurus got a similar message. They actually got overcommitting as their card. I feel like some of you, that may be the issue here as well. So if you are a very strong earth placement, like you've got strong Taurus as well as strong Capricorn placements, you may want to check Taurus's reading as well. It's very similar energy there. But we also see the key coming through here as well. So you are needing to let go of opportunities, if that makes sense. There's too many opportunities. You need to it's like whittle down the candidate pool. Especially, it's kind of weird because we've got the card of meetings here with the garden, and then we've got opportunities here, and it's kind of giving me like you've got too many candidates. So whether that's in dating or whether that's something work related, you've got too many candidates, too many opportunities, too many things, trying to offer you their time and their commitment, trying to contract themselves to you in some kind of way. They're like, oh, Capricorn, this is a great opportunity for you. Come do this. Capricorn, come do this. This is a great opportunity for you. You're taking too many opportunities. Does that make sense? And they're just not the right opportunities. You need to whittle them down to a few select things rather than overcommitting to too many different things. I hope that kind of makes sense, Capricorn. It's just that's the way it's coming through. So I do feel as though for a lot of you, it may be, and for a couple of you, it's like you're needing to let go of the keys. I don't know what that means. You've got like I don't know what that means, Capricorn. Letting go of the keys. Letting go of the keys. So maybe if you've given out a few house keys, for example, and someone's got your house keys and you're worried about it, just change the locks. All right? Don't worry about the keys. Change the lock. If you feel like you're worried that you've given out and you need to just let go of that key and just change the lock so you know that you don't have to worry about it. So especially with that toxic tie thing coming in, if that's something that might relate to a couple, like one of you, I think there might be something there about keys, actual keys, that you need to let go of the keys. I'm not sure. Like I said, it doesn't make sense in much, so it's not a message for me. It's a message for one of you guys, all right? But that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll move over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know in regard to letting go? What does Aquarius need to know in regards to letting go? Give up control. Surrender to the natural flow of life and have faith. Allow serendipity. So allowing things to fall into place how they will. The universe has a way of doing what it will anyway, no matter how much you try to fight it, all right? No matter how much you try to control it, stop it from happening, start it happening, the universe has its way with us one way or another, right? So you do need to just sort of go, just, okay, whatever. Just go with it. Just go with it, all right? Have faith that it's going to work out somehow. It'll work out one way or another, right? I'll deal with it when I get there. There's no point trying to worry about what it's going to be. I'll wait and see, and then I'll worry about it, yeah? Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know in regards to letting go? So I do feel as though for a lot of you, it's like giving up control of what's going to happen, the consequences, yeah? That you're like, but I need to worry about this, and I need to worry about that, and I need to worry about this. Just wait until it actually happens before you start worrying about it. All right? So, Aquarius, needing to let go. Oh, okay. These messages today have been super confronting, guys. I do apologize. We have the mice here first. All right? So the mice does talk about loss, talks about the past, talks about things that stress you out from the past. Needing to give up control of that thing that you lost, Aquarius, that you can't control the fact that that left your life. A lot of you are still trying to control that. That's in the past. It's coming up as the past, all right? So how can you control that? You can't control the past. That's already happened. What you can control is how you're allowing that to affect your present and your future. So you're needing to let go of the fact that that happened, that you lost that. Whether it was, a relationship or, something in your life, a job or whatever you've lost in the past here, that you're still trying to control that. Still trying to find control of that situation, even though you know it's been lost to you. We also see the Tower coming through here. With the Tower does talk about isolation for a lot of the time. So you're needing to let go of isolating yourself, basically. Let go of tradition and the structures that tradition tells you, because this is very structured energy, very authoritative energy, this is how it's got to be, that this looks like that and there's no other way for that to be, that tradition says X comes before Y, which comes before Z. Not if you're saying the alphabet backwards, it doesn't. So you're needing to let go of the rigidness with the way that you're approaching things. All right. We also see the stork coming through here too, which is kind of the opposite to that tower as well. So it kind of lets me know that there's middle ground that's not being covered here. Balance that is necessary for you, Aquarius, because the stork talks about stirring up new things and stirring things up to get things moving. So once again, you're trying to get things going in a certain direction and try to follow a certain structure. That's just not working for you. You need to find some sort of balance between, and it's also pretty much straight out saying you're needing to let go of stirring the pot as well, Aquarius, that there's certain things that you're stirring the shit out of something or someone. You're kind of like, okay, shit hit the fan. Let's see where it sticks. But you need to stop doing that. All right, you need to let go of your kind of need to do that. I feel for a lot of you. All right, that's not helping the situation, and you know it. All right, you're stirring someone up, stirring something up, just stirring shit. You need to stop doing that. All right, you need to let go of the need to do that, because it's just making things worse, not just for the situation, but for you too. A lot of the time it comes back on you, right? You stir the shit and it hits the fan, and then bang, it smacks you in the face. Do you really want shit in your face? No. So, well, you might, but don't. We're not going to talk about that. I feel like that's what it wants to say to you. Like, it's not really wanting to talk about much else, but you do need to, let go of the need to isolate yourself as well. That's coming through strongly. You do need to, surround yourself with others. Talk it through with other people. You don't have to do it all alone. All right. You don't have to do it all alone. Is what's coming through as well. Okay, Aquarius. So that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. And we will move on over to Pisces. Pisces. What does Pisces need to know in regards to letting go? Pisces, what does Pisces need to know in regards to letting go? People pleasing, Pisces. Look at that. Allowing other people to pull your strings, yeah? Prioritize your own needs by learning to say no. Set boundaries. All right? So stop feeling like you have to do what everyone else wants you to do, that you have to. It's easier to just say it. Just go along with it. No, it's not. In the long run, it's not. It might be easier right now to just go along with it, Pisces, and just be like, yeah, righto, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. But you're not being truthful to yourself. Pisces, what does Pisces need to know about letting go? And I also feel here, Pisces, too, that understanding when others are people-pleasing towards you as well. Like, you can hear it in their voice, and you need to let go of the expectations that anyone should people-please, right? That if you realize that someone is doing that just to please you, to people-please, rather than them actually truly wanting to do it, let go of that and allow them to do what they need to do for themselves. Allow them to stand up for themselves as well. So I am feeling it is just sort of wanting me to let you know both ways exist on that. Okay, so a few people have had this message already today, Pisces, but the first card we do see for you is the mice. Okay, so there's something there about a past loss that we're needing to let go of, all right? And I'm not talking about like somebody you have lost from this world. I'm talking about somebody or something you have lost from your life, all right? So for a lot of you, this is a past relationship that you're needing to let go of. You have held on to that for quite a long time. and you need to let go of the illusion, the deception around that. For some of you, it's got to do with the Scorpio as well. All right, we see the snake here. There's an illusion, there's a deception that you're deceiving yourself into thinking that there's a reason to hold on to the past. It's kind of like you're not accepting that this is not in your life anymore. You're kind of telling yourself, I'm still connected to it. It's gonna be in my, even if it's not here in my life right now, it will be. You need to let go of that, Pisces. It's an illusion. It's a deception. Deceiving yourself a little bit, all right? I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but you are deceiving yourself. And you know, with the snake also, there is this self-betrayal coming through where you're betraying yourself by not setting those boundaries with yourself, not setting those boundaries with others, by not saying no when you need to, by just doing what others sort of want to do. You're betraying your truth, okay? So if you're just going along with what everyone else wants to do, you're betraying your truth of what you want to do, all right? We do also see the clouds coming through for you here, Pisces. So, there's a lot of overthinking. You're needing to let go of, those negative thoughts you have sometimes, Pisces, that I do feel for a lot of you, this is, probably aimed at yourself, these negative ways of thinking. But it's creating a lot of anxiety or more anxiety. And it's actually clouding your judgment a lot here too, that you're really kind of overthinking every little thing, and it's but it's all the negative stuff that you're overthinking. Yeah, you're overthinking all the negative potential consequences. You're not allowing yourself to even think of the positive consequences. There is something here too about, like, it's wanting you to sort of think about the cup as half full instead of half empty sometimes, Pisces, that you kind of overdo it sometimes with the, everything is horrible, everything's, bad. But that's a deception that you're putting on yourself as well, because not everything is bad, all right? You have great things in your life, but you're not seeing them. You're not allowing yourself to, have gratitude for the positive things in your life, because you're so focused on the negative things in your life. So focused on, what you've lost in the past and what you no longer have in your life, rather than what you already do have in your life. Okay, Pisces. So that's what we're seeing for you. Sorry if this reading was a bit confrontational. I was a little bit more full on than I was expecting it to be. I will probably be putting a bit of a trigger warning on the video itself. So I do apologize for that, guys, but you're more than welcome to check your other placements. Subscribe to the channel. I'll try to do a more positive, uplifting video tomorrow. Okay, everyone? And I'll see you there.